Don't move to Japan if you're unhappy and you think that being here is going to make things better for you, because it probably isn't. Japan is a wonderful place to live, and there's all sorts of reasons to move here, but it's just another country. It's just one more country with good aspects and bad aspects to living here, and it's not a magical fairyland, and it's not going to fix your problems. I've seen lots of people move here for the wrong reasons, and often that goes quite badly wrong. There's a very common mistake that lots of people make, and it's more common with younger people because they have less experience, and the older you get, the less likely you are to make this specific mistake. But this mistake is basically believing in the success fallacy. And that basically is when you think that getting something or having something or doing something is going to make you happy. You need to reach success and then you'll be happy. And that pretty much is never the case. So you might think, if you only had that toy, it would make you happy. If you only could get that computer, it would make you happy. If you could buy that car, it would make you happy. If you could buy that house, if you could move to Japan, that would make you happy. And basically, it doesn't work like that because of hedonic adaptation, which basically means that you get used to stuff. So you get used to good stuff, you get used to bad stuff, and over time your happiness baseline basically moves back towards normal. So even if you get that amazing car, after 3 or 4 weeks you won't really notice it anymore, it'll just be normal. You get that fantastic house and you love living there, but after a couple of months it's just normal. I used to work on the 16th floor of the Kencho building in Sendai, and when I first went there for interviews, I was like, oh my god, the views are incredible. I can see the mountains. I'd be so happy to work here all the time. And after a couple of months, you don't even see it anymore. So very much the same thing. If you move to Japan, it might be fun for the first few weeks, but after a while, that will wear off, reality will set in, and you'll go back to baseline. And there's a few other reasons why moving to Japan if you're unhappy is not a good idea. One is that Japan is quite a stressful place to adapt to. It's quite different from a lot of countries. There's lots of unspoken rules, there's lots of kind of unspoken standards that you have to adapt to and get used to, and it's very stressful for a lot of people. A lot of people find you have the honeymoon period and then you have the culture shock period. And the culture shock period is quite rough and it kicks in after a month or so. Another reason not to move to Japan if you're unhappy is that Japan has pretty poor mental health care, at least compared to some countries. So if you have mental health issues, you're not really going to get as much support here as you might want, as you might expect. So be very, very careful about that. And in the same way, employers are maybe not going to be as understanding as they might have been in other countries. So moving here, if you're unhappy, getting used to a new environment can be pretty dangerous. You're also leaving your support network behind. So you're leaving behind your family and your friends, and that's actually a huge deal. So being away from that support network often has a big impact on people, and it takes time to build up a new support network. It can be very difficult to meet people and make friends in Japan, and it takes time to do so. So that gap between having your normal relationships and then coming to Japan and trying to find new relationships, that can be pretty stressful as well. So I've seen this a lot. I used to be the ALT supervisor for Miyagi, so I was in charge of hundreds of ALTs and their training, their support and so on. And generally speaking, the people who really wanted to live in Japan, they had this kind of shining ideal of Japan as a place that was perfect for them, they often become disillusioned because the reality does not live up to their expectations, and they're the people that end up leaving. And on the other hand, people that move to Japan because they had a job or they wanted to spend some time here, those are the people that end up staying because they don't have these unrealistic expectations. They just get used to Japan as it is, and they find that it suits them or they like living here and so on. And that's the last thing. So some people are going to love living in Japan. It's going to suit them perfectly. I think I'm one of those people. I really like living here. It's a very good fit for me in terms of my likes and my personality. But some people hate it. Some people absolutely hate living here. And you don't really know which one you're going to be until you move here. So if you are unhappy, if you think coming here will make you happier, I really recommend working on your health, working on your relationships, working on your skills first. And then once you're in that position of strength where you're happy and confident and okay, then coming to Japan and seeing if you like it, that makes much more sense to me. Japan at the moment is incredibly cheap. The currency is very weak at the moment. So visiting Japan is going to be a much better option for most people than moving to Japan. Very, very different experiences. Visiting Japan is incredible. Almost everyone I know who visited Japan had a wonderful time, loved it. Fantastic. But you've got to remember, you're just visiting. You're just a guest temporarily. You're getting all the good stuff. You're getting treated really well. And then you can go home and relive those memories. But if you move here, that's different. Moving here is more permanent. You actually live here, you earn in yen, you work here, you have the Japanese working conditions. And it's not quite as wonderful as visiting is. So just be really, really careful. Don't move here for the wrong reasons. Do make sure that you're going to be okay if you move here, despite the challenges. And if you once you do move here, then come to Retire Japan, check out our resources, and we'll help you get set up financially as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.